The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. I'm Shannon Penrod and we are webcasting to you live from the Center for Autism and Related Disorders headquarters in Tarzana, California. I got a goofy grin on my face because we've got a really incredible show for you today. We're going to step a little outside the ordinary today in several different ways. So very excited to be here with you. Want to remind you that we're live for the next 2 hours talking to you about autism from a 360-degree perspective. It just reminds me that we were at an incredible event on Saturday. Really, truly remarkable, life-changing stuff. We were on the back lot of CBS here in Los Angeles for Stephanie's Day. We had Steve Malden, a very proud autism dad, on the show last week, talking about the inspiration for this day. We were there with so many other different resources in the field of autism, and it was remarkable to meet so many people and get so many hugs and give so many hugs, people who were looking for answers, and they were all different kinds of answers that they were looking for. I want you to know we had such a great day there because that's exactly what we're about. We're a free resource for parents, teachers, practitioners, and individuals who are on the autism spectrum to help you to get the answers that you need and want in real time. So we hope you'll participate. Emily's going to show you some different ways that you can participate here on the show. I'll remind you that our homepage is autism-live.com. When you go there, there's a lot to do and there's a lot to see, but I want to first bring your attention to the computer screen that you see there. If you click on the little triangle on that screen, you can be watching the live show or the most recently recorded live show. To the side of that are a series of white boxes, and you can put your cursor in the one that says your question, start typing, hit enter, and that's really all you have to do. There's no login, nobody asks your name even, let alone for a credit card. It's all free and fairly instantaneous. There is about a 2-minute lag. That's the time it takes to shoot up to the satellite and then find another satellite and shoot back down right here to my desk. So you have to be a little patient and think a little bit ahead. We're going to have some amazing guests with us here on the show, and if you have questions for them, we want to make sure that we get your question before they're off the show. So ask your question early as opposed to later, and we do have some amazing guests for you. So I hope you'll participate because this whole show is meant to be interactive. We love being able to give you a message of hope and the fact that there is progress for all of us available, no matter what your economic status is, no matter what your capabilities currently are. We know that there's progress available to you, and we want to connect you with that. I always like to remind you at the start of the show that while we will have many experts here on the show, I don't count myself as one of them. I, like so many of you out there watching, am an autism mom. My son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2.5, and every day it is brought home to me how lucky I am because I got information in a moment in time when I needed it more than anything else, and it has made all the difference. My son is 11 now, and he is completely included. He will start 6th grade in the fall, and he is completely verbal where he wasn't, and just the light and joy of my life. And I know that that hasn't happened just because it certainly didn't happen because of the amount of money in my bank account. Let's be honest about that. And it certainly didn't happen because I already knew so many things about autism. That certainly wasn't the case. I got good information, so I got good help that fit him. We know that our kids are individuals. It is not one size fits all. So there's lots of different questions that have to be answered. Please bring your questions to us. But again, I come to this from a place of wanting to pay back, pay forward. what I got. And so I hope that you will take me at my word and let us know what you need. You guys have been writing in over the weekend. We're going to, some of the things that you guys have written in, we really need an expert to address. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow and Thursday. We'll see, some of it might fit today. But most especially, somebody just wrote in and said, can a 20-year-old get help? And I want you to know, yes. And you could fill in that blank with any age and any different capability, and my answer to you would be yes. It is never too late. There is no one we give up on ever, ever. And we know that there are things that are really helpful and useful. It's slightly different than what we do with the 4-year-olds, right? Which is slightly different than what we do with the 8-year-olds, which is slightly different than what we do for a person who's interested in computers, which is slightly different than what we do for a person who's interested in fashion. Everyone on this spectrum, this big, beautiful spectrum, is individual, but I want you to know that there's help for everyone. So stick with us. Be a part of the conversation. Let us know when you write in. Let us know what part of the world you're in, because we're in over 103 countries, so I like to know where you are because the resources are different too. We're working on having that be different, but for now, that's our reality. So I want to get started this morning because we are just chock full, back to back with amazing guests. So we like to start every morning. See, I'm all verklempt and flustered here. We like to start every morning with something we fondly refer to as the jargon of the day. This is when we take on one word, one phrase, one acronym. We try to give you an actual definition and then a working definition that sometimes makes our experts a little bit, they go, But we need a place to start when we're learning these terms so that we understand what they mean in our lives. How is this going to help me? I don't want to sit at a meeting and have somebody just spout terms that are disconnected to me. How does this help me? So we make friends with jargon one little bit at a time. So our phrase for today is stimulus orienting. Okay. Oh, I don't know about you, but the first time I heard this, I thought it was that catalog where you order all the different things, but that's Oriental trading. Right? This is how underslept I was the first time I heard stimulus orienting. What are we talking about here? So let's take a look first at our actual definition for stimulus orienting. It's a response to a change in the environment. The individual shifts their attention to novel stimuli. Okay, well, it's not the friendliest definition, but it's not that hard if we take it apart. But let's move on to our working definition to see what are we really talking about. Focusing on something new. Now, stimulus orienting is something that we see in very young babies. The ability to, when you put something in front of them, for them to be looking at one thing and turn and focus on that new thing. And it seems like something we should just take for granted because babies just do it, except sometimes they don't. And for a lot of our kids, it just didn't happen. And sometimes it happened when they were a baby, but now they're a little bit older, they're toddlers, and they have a hard time. Sometimes we see this as hard for even an individual who is older, a teenager, or even an adult. This is one of those base scales. You know, I talk to you all the time about how sometimes our kids are Swiss cheese. They have skills over here and skills over here, but there's a gap in the middle. And if we can fill that gap, it allows them to do ever so much more. Because if that little piece is missing, it throws a lot of other skills off. So being able to, if you're focused on one thing, think about your teenager who's playing a video game. And if they're focused on the video game and you come and you bring something else and say, look at this, can they do it? We want even our young babies to be able to orient on something new, to be able to focus on it. There are other skills down the road where we'll work on shifting attention. There are other skills where, even eye contact is going to have its roots in stimulus orienting. So this is a really important skill. And I don't know about you, I'm a former teacher, but when my child wasn't doing this, I kind of noticed that something was off, but I didn't know what it was. And when it was pointed out to me, I didn't know how to fix it. How do you fix something that just happens organically? How do you get someone to do that if they're not already doing it? Well, it's actually something that's pretty remarkable, and it involves our first rule, my first rule always for when we're working in an ABA way, which is that in order to get someone to do a behavior again and again and again, we have to make it rewarding to them. So I think about my son when he's playing video games, and can he do it? Yes. Does he want to do it? No. If he's playing a video game, he doesn't want to shift his attention to something else. And in that instance, where he can already do it but doesn't want to, I got to give him a paycheck for it, right? For individuals who can't already do it, I gotta start really small and work up to it, and I gotta give a paycheck. The whole lesson of how to teach this is available on Skills, and I really want to encourage you, if you haven't already, go onto Skills. Even if you do the 14-day free trial, just to use this example of stimulus orienting and see, okay, how would I teach that if somebody's not already doing it? It's pretty amazing. It's a step-by-step process in which you can teach this, because this is a cornerstone skill. It's a building block. You need it, or you're going to be frustrated if the individual can't do this. You're going to be frustrated trying to teach eye contact. You're going to be frustrated trying to teach attention. You're going to be frustrated with every single social skill that you try to teach, because if they can't focus on something, it's all going to be frustrating to them. So we got to make this, shifting your attention to it, rewarding. We got to start small to be able to do that, but it is very possible. And by the way, you can see on the A Word, which we'll show a little bit later on, but you can go to the A Word and watch how they teach Jack Riley to be able to do that, and how quickly then, because it's rewarding to him, he starts doing it in his life, and how that adds, it grows like good yeast, so that it takes on a new shape and adds to so many other skills. It's really quite amazing. So stimulus orienting, really, really important. It's one of those really base level things that we tend to take for granted. Okay. Moving on, we always like to start the morning with a question of the day. So our question for you guys today, and by the way, we hope that you'll be answering this on Facebook. It really is so informative for so many people when you answer it on Facebook. So our question today is, what do you have a hard time letting go of? What is it that you're hanging on to? Now, this could be something that happened. This could be an item. This could be anger, frustration, resentment. What are you carrying that you wish you could let go of? And a lot of times, both Nancy Alspaugh Jackson and I, she'll be here tomorrow. We're both getting ready to get rid of some stuff. We're getting ready for a purge. And we've been talking about that, how important it is when you get attached to something and you think that it's important and essential, but is it really? And it's the same thing with our emotions. And sometimes the things are attached to the emotions. Do you know what I mean? That sometimes we get upset about something. I remember about 2 years into Jem getting therapy, and he was doing so much better. My garage was an unholy terror, a lot like it is now, to be honest with you. And I had to get it cleaned. I just had to do it. And I went downstairs, and after I took box after box out, I got to his toy box that he had when he was very little, that was chock full of toys for a little boy. And I opened it up, and I had this massive realization that I had taken everything out of the room that we were doing therapy that was distracting him, and I had put it in that toy box and put it down in the basement. And I was like, when we're in the garage, when we're done with therapy, we're going to come back and we're going to play with these toys. And as I opened it up, I realized that he wasn't a 3-year-old little boy anymore. And he wasn't a 3-year-old little boy who was so hampered by autism that he couldn't play with these toys. But the good news was he was so much older and had grown so much, he wouldn't play with these toys anymore. And I had to mourn that moment in time that I thought that I was going to have, the 3-year-old who was going to play with a little Winnie the Pooh bank. That I didn't have that child. I didn't ever get that child. And I sat and cried my eyes out, and then I got rid of the stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? So the stuff was attached to the emotion. And so I'm asking you guys today, what are you having a hard time letting go of? Oh, my garage is a mess right now because I have half of my mother's life in my garage. Yes, I'm a little stuck, but I'm working on it. So what do you need to let go of? We're going to work on this together. We hold hands. All right. So that's our question of the day. We always have a topic for the entire week. Can you guess what our topic is? Our topic this week is, what do we pay attention to? What are we focusing on? Our jargon today was about focusing on something. What are we focusing on? Because when we focus on the stuff that we won't let go of, the anger and the resentment and all of those things, are we really getting the most out of life? What do we need to pay attention to? Because you know what they say, whatever you put attention to, that's what energy goes to, and that's what gets fulfilled. So if we're putting attention into resentment, which heaven knows, I have a master's degree in holding on to resentment. So please know, I'm part of this too, in a big way. But what do we pay attention to? What do we want to pay attention to? And how can we get to the progress which we really want so badly? Maybe that's the thing we need to pay attention to. So we're going to be talking about that all week long. What do we pay attention to? What do our kids pay attention to? What do we want to pay attention to? And what do we want them to pay attention to? So should be really fun. Now, today is a really special day. We've got 4, count them, 4 amazing guests for you. It just gets better and better. Are you ready for this? So first up, we're going to have Bill Wong with us. He's been on the show before. He is a young man who is on the spectrum, and he's an OT. The last time he was with us, he was finishing up his studies to be an OT. He's with us today. He's got some exciting news about some things that are happening in the field of OT that I think you're really going to find exciting. Then we were able to tape on Friday. So I guess we have 5 guests today. What am I talking about? 5 guests. We were able to tape on Friday an interview with a pretty impressive young man and his mom. I'm talking about Vincente and Katrina King. Vincente was featured on American Ninja Warrior a week ago Monday, and amazing young man on the autism spectrum who showed the world how capable you can be when you have an autism spectrum disorder. So this is a really important interview, and we're going to be showing it to you this morning in the first hour. And then in the second hour, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited. Matt Asner, who is a regular here on the show, is going to be with us. He, of course, is the executive director of the Southern California chapter of Autism Speaks. But this time he's bringing a really special guest. Yes, he's bringing his dad, 7-time Emmy award-winning, 5-time Golden Globe award-winning actor, Ed Asner. Some of us who are a little bit older remember things from the beginning of his career, like when he was Lou Grant, first on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and then Lou Grant on the Lou Grant Show. And then for those of you who have little ones, they're going to remember him as the elderly, crotchety, but so darling widower on Up. So the man's had an incredible career, played many important roles, but none more important than the fact that he is a dad, and he is a dad who has a son on the autism spectrum, and he's also a proud grandpa with a grandson on the spectrum. And he has been a very outspoken advocate for autism, and he is hosting a really lovely event next month that has to do with poker. So he's going to be here today answering your questions, and we might play a little poker while we're here, just so that we can watch me lose face completely. It should be very fun. It's a big show. We want you to participate. We got to take a break because we got to bring back Bill Wong right after these messages. Stick with us.
Hi, this is Lisa Ackerman. Welcome back to Talk of Facts, frequently asked questions and answers for the autism journey. Now this one is specifically for teens and adults with autism. I get this question all the time. What's new and exciting in the medical world today for teens and adults with autism? So let's talk about them. TMS, transmagnetic stimulation therapy, is something that is really exciting. I met with the author John Robison. Look me in the eye. He's a gentleman with Asperger's, and something I hope all of our kids to strive and grow up and be just like him. He's amazing. He talked about TMS therapy and how he became more social aware. His smile was more natural, and I definitely can better understand things around him in those social settings. Another really great treatment that we're seeing just a ton of research on in the last 3 years is cerebral folate autoimmunity. You know, in the 90s, they started putting folate in all of our different foods and products. Well, some people, they have found out, and specifically a high percentage of children with autism don't process folate like how they should. Go figure. They don't do it the way the books say it's going to happen. So cerebral folate autoimmunity is just a really exciting new therapeutic to work with your physician on and to look to see if your child is a candidate for that therapy. And another common thing that we're seeing in teens and adults, and we've talked about it before in Talk of Facts, is seizures. Very serious issue that needs to be looked at. Abnormal brain waves or brain patterns or epileptic activity in the brain definitely needs to be addressed in children with autism. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I know doctors that can go through and work and look at the child and perform a 24-hour EEG. What they're finding with some of these anticonvulsant or seizure medications is kids start to make great gains in speech, cognition, sleep, learning, by treating any type of seizure activity. So, and the other issue is pandas, not the cute fuzzy bears that we see in the zoo, but an issue that is happening with a lot of teens and adults on the spectrum, where you see a dramatic change in behaviors with these individuals, and often they have an inappropriate immune response. TACA has a great white paper, so you can go look up in the pandas definition what to test and treat for and talk to your doctor about. But know that if you see an extreme swing in behavior with a child that goes from one place to a very negative place, we're seeing a lot of teens positively responding to treatments for pandas. And the last treatment I wanted to talk about, and I'm super excited about, and this happens to not just work with younger kids on the autism spectrum, but also older children on the spectrum, teens and adults. It's called mendability. And a great study just came out of UCI in May 2013 about a multi-sensory approach for individuals with autism. The whole premise behind the therapy is very simple, making it a sensory-rich environment so neural connections can make new pathways or at least connect in that individual. So kids with sensory issues, auditory listening issues, speech issues, they seem to really just respond to mendability. And I was so excited to see that new research. More research is being done on it. And the beautiful part about mendability is it's something parents can do on their own, administer with their child, and be connected to their kid as partners in the autism journey. Don't forget in any therapy or medical intervention to work with your physician and to do proper testing to know what your child needs and what treatments to pursue under a physician's care. So there's so many new things. I could go on for hours about new treatments and excitement, but there's the top ones that just have me so geeked here. But that's another Talk of Fact. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time and on Real Journey, Real Questions and Answers to help your autism journey.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We are having a little bit of difficulty getting Bill via Skype, so we'll work on that. I want to answer one quick question that just came in, and then we're going to go to the tape of Vincente King and his mom, Katrina King, from American Ninja Warrior. But somebody just wrote in and said, hi, I want to know if I have to fill in all areas of skills in order to get a graph of my son's progress. Also, does skills graph progress? Okay, a couple of different things I want to let you know. There are 8 different curriculum areas in skills, and if you want to get a really good idea of where your child is in any of those individual areas, then the more questions that you answer, the clearer the picture, the snapshot is of where your child is at. And then right now in skills, it's built into skills that as your child masters skills, it tracks that progress. So for instance, let's say that you really are interested in working on social skills, and so you go through and you start answering questions about the social skills, and you don't have to answer all the questions to start working on things. But so let's say you just pick a certain area of social skills that you want to work on, and you answer all of the questions in the assessment having to do with that. Then you will be able to see what your baseline is for where your child is. You won't get the full picture until you answer all the questions in the skills area, but you can already start working on things. As your child masters, it shows where your child needs to get in terms of their age, where they should be in terms of mastery. And as your child makes progress, it will show how close you get to that line and when you go over that line, so that you can see that you've gotten your child caught up. So that's mastered skills. What's happening right now is there's something called Skills Logbook, and that will, I don't want to say when exactly it comes out, but sometime in fall of this year, that will be, its internal rollout is now, but for all of us who use it that are parents, that will be more towards the fall, and then that will give you the ability to track progress on a daily basis, and that will be amazing. So just to give you an idea though, you can track progress in terms of mastered skills, and depending on what kind of a picture you want, of course we all want to have that full picture. It will take you a while to answer all the questions, and I advise don't wait to start working things because you want to pace yourself answering the questions. It takes a while. I think I'm the only person who has done it twice. Oh, we have Bill now. Okay, good. We're functioning on. We won't have a whole lot of time with Bill, but we've got him. So Bill, are you there? Oh, we got to go to a break first. I don't know what I'm doing. Stick with us. We're going to come back with Bill Wong.
Hi guys, welcome back to Smarty. Today I have a special guest with me. What the heck? She's missing!
Here I am!
And what's your name?
Mackenzie.
And what are we doing today?
Making sidewalk paint.
And how do we do that?
I have no idea.
So, the materials we'll be needing
Are 2 cups of cornstarch, 1 cup of cold water, 4.5 cups of boiling water. Be careful. A mixing bowl, a spoon, sparkle, and food coloring.
So, the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 2 cups of cornstarch and put it in the big bowl.
Yes.
Can you do that for me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's alright, I'll help you. Step 2, you're gonna put the cold water into the bowl.
Cold water to the bowl.
Good job. Step 3, we're gonna stir it with a big spoon. Good job. You're gonna keep stirring it until it's all the way mixed together. So the next step is adding the boiling water. That's a little dangerous for her, so I'll be doing it myself, 1 cup at a time, stirring it together. You're gonna keep an eye on me?
Yes.
So once we're done stirring the cornstarch water, we're gonna start making our dyed paint. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do?
We're gonna put in the dye,
Okay.
and we're gonna put in the sparkles.
All right, let's do it. I'll move this out of the way. All right, it's all you, Mackenzie. So the more food color we use, the brighter it's gonna be.
Ooh.
So let's put the sparkles in.
Now we're gonna put the cornstarch in the jar.
All right, do you wanna stir that up?
It looks pretty. We're gonna make a few more colors, and we're gonna go paint on the side.
See all the colors in the sky tonight.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Love is the truest state of mind. Now can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me flying by your side?
Welcome back to Autism Live. As promised, joining us via Skype right now is Bill Wong. He's been with us before. He himself has a diagnosis, and he is also an OT, an occupational therapist. The last time Bill was with us, you were just finishing up your studies, Bill, and now you've got an exciting new announcement for us that has to do with something called Go to Care. So tell us what Go to Care is.
So GoToCare is an online healthcare company, consists of occupational therapists, physical therapists, and speech-language pathologists, as well as other wellness experts, providing therapy and wellness services through private and secure video conferencing technologies.
Okay, and so this is now who you're going to be working with, correct?
That's correct.
Well, I got to say, I love the idea of this. So they're online, but what does that end up being? So you're the therapist and there's an individual who needs some OT. How do you guys connect?
So, like, we are providing the therapy and other services to assist the school-based students and transitioning young adults with strategies and modifications in terms of learning, performance, socialization, and life skills building, as well as well-being. So how do I do it is like, I will have an appointment set up with the student or with the student's parents if that person is a minor. And then we will set up a time via email so that we can set up. And then hopefully, initially, we're going to set up like an appointment to see like what kind of technology a person has, whether it's a PC, a mobile device, or an iPad. And then I think we're going to use, again, because what we're trying to do is try to be HIPAA compliant. So we need to use a secure video conferencing software and webcam.
Great. And so you're meeting kind of like in this format, but in something very secure so that your information is being kept secret. And then it's basically a consultation and you have the opportunity to talk about strategies to be able to get to that progress. Is that right, Bill?
Yes, that's correct. It'll be online anytime. So it would be, so I could see you, for example, like a Sunday at 1 p.m. or somewhere like Monday at like 9 p.m. So it's very flexible. And I know for my session, it will be like for someone who is like under 12, maybe preferably is about 30 minutes per session. For someone who's older, it may be more like traditional for an hour.
Okay.
But of course, the needs will be discussed with the parents or the individual as time goes on.
Well, and I can see a lot of benefits to this, Bill, that we're gonna save a whole lot of time not commuting. It's gonna be better for the environment instead of going to where the OT is, the OT coming to us. But also our kids tend to be really interested in screen time. And so you're already gonna have a benefit meeting them in screen time, don't you think?
Yes, I know. It also, considering our state of California is very large, so it's like someone from Sacramento could see, like an OT from Sacramento can see someone as far as San Diego is concerned.
Right. It's going to be able to make access to these kinds of therapies much more available as long as people have the technology to make it work. I think it's pretty incredible. And I have to say, Bill, I'm so excited for you that you're on this new venture in your career, and we love Go-To Care that they have hired you. Was it difficult for you because of your diagnosis getting a position, or did you find it pretty easy?
Actually, it's the other way around. I find that because we are a private company, so we have been trying to contact autism agencies in terms of receiving like our package of care. However, like a lot of people in the autism community, they find that, oh, OT is just all sensory integration and handwriting. They never realize that OT can also provide mental health services, for example. So I think that's more like in terms of the health literacy standpoint. And I also know that because Go-To Care is a private practice, so we sometimes our rates may not be very affordable for people who might pay out of pocket. So that's why my boss had decided to like set up a system where like if people want to have insurance reimbursement, so what my boss would do is, so let's say I provide you the OT services to your child, and then you can request my company for a super bill. Then the super bill will be sent to you, and then you will send the super bill to the insurance company for reimbursement.
Very good. Well, I think it's a remarkable new way of looking at providing care. So again, that's Go-To Care. And so it's spelled go2care.com. So if people have more information, they can go to go2care.com. Bill, thank you so much for being with us, and we're so excited for you on this new adventure.
Thank you.
All right, be in touch with us, okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Really remarkable young man. We're so thrilled for him and proud of Go To Care for being wonderful and making sure that Bill has a job. So that's a wonderful thing. He is somebody who is so passionate about helping our kids with very good reason. We now want to shift and go to another young man who's doing some amazing things. And by the way, his mom's pretty amazing too. Vincente King was featured on American Ninja Warrior last week as he tried out for the show, and you have to go watch the whole thing. You really do, because it was truly amazing. We were watching. I came running from the other room. I couldn't wait to see it, and he did a really good job of empowering our autism community and showing what they're capable of. And his mom did a great job too. She said some pretty amazing things about autism because she's a pretty amazing woman. So take a look. This is Vincente King. We taped this interview last Friday. When we come back, it'll just be a few more minutes before we have Ed and Matt Asner here. We're going to play a little poker, and we're going to talk about what it's like being a dad and what it's like being a grandpa on the autism spectrum. But first, Vincente King from American Ninja Warrior. Welcome back to Autism Live. We're so thrilled. I am so thrilled. I'm tingling. I'm so excited about our next guest. If you were watching last week on American Ninja Warrior, you got a big, wonderful present, right? Because we got to see Vincente King and his wonderful mother, Katrina, and they were there participating in the show, but doing it in a way that shed a light, a wonderful light on autism, because Vincente was competing on the show. It was thrilling. My whole family got so excited, and we couldn't wait to have them on the show. So joining us via Skype, we have Vincente and his mom. Welcome, you guys.
Hi.
We're so thrilled to have you here with us. Katrina, I want to start with you because as an autism mom, you know, when I saw you there and heard you speak out, and can I also say too, you said some of the best things about autism that I have seen on national television ever. I was so impressed with you.
Oh, thank you. I don't remember what I said, but everything, you know, it's truth. It's from the heart. So
well, we saw how proud you were.
Yes, very proud.
And I loved how you said, you know, there are many different types of autism. I loved that message got sent out to the world. And of course, you talked about some of the different issues that Vincente has had. And Vincente, you talked a little bit about bullying, that you've been the victim of some bullying.
Well, to be honest, mostly, but hey, I mean, like I mostly get picked on because, you know, people think like autism is considered as mentally retardation or like an antisocial disorder or all that crap, but I mean, well, yeah, I mean, like I can get bullied, but hey, it don't mean I can't stand up for myself. And you know, like I see other people who like, you know, like mess with other people who's also autistic. I had to stand up for them too. So that's what makes me the type of guy who has to do it.
Well, boy, did you do it that night. You shed such a light on autism, such a wonderful light on autism, because you were there and you were competing and you looked incredible. You, first of all, I have to say, and I'm sure people tell you this all the time, you are one good-looking young man. And
thank you.
and to be so physically fit and to be so focused on competing, it was a wonderful thing to see, and to see what you can do was amazing. I'm sure that you said you wanted to inspire the autism community. Well, I got to tell you, you did. You did that in so many different ways. My son, who is 11, was watching, and he just kept on saying, "That's so cool. That's so cool." So I know that you inspire people. We're going to show people just a short clip. We're not showing the whole thing because we want people to tune in and be able to watch on their website for American Ninja Warrior. But I want them to see how amazing you were that night. So we're going to show that right now, and then we're going to come back and talk with you guys a little bit more. Welcome back. So I could watch that every day for the rest of my life and still get a goofy grin on my face. And we're not giving away what happens. People have to watch the show. You can look online. It's online. Check it out. But you were incredible. And I'm a huge fan of American Ninja Warrior. Our family's been watching it for years before there was even an American Ninja Warrior. And
Really?
yes. So are you guys big fans too?
I was when it was in Tokyo, but I haven't really watched a lot of the American shows because I'm school and things busy.
You're a busy mom.
He is. He has.
Well, my second cousin told me about the show. You know, right before I started parkour and right before we left St. Louis to move to Georgia.
We have I have a cousin down the line that was a coach at his school, his high school.
No, not that.
Not Corey?
No, the other Corey. Heather's husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong Corey. I don't know. My play, he's like a play cousin, if there's such thing.
Yes.
And he took interest in Vincente and what have you. And he told him about it.
I just think it's... So how long have you been training to get ready for this, Vincente?
Huh? How long?
Forever.
And what kinds of things? I saw the video where you were doing the parkour. Are you going to a gym and working out?
Well, it's some gyms. I only had to ask my mom to drop me off there.
He goes to, I'll take him to a gym that does gymnastics and what have you. And then he does a lot of his workout at home and in the park.
Well, it's absolutely remarkable. I want to take a second, Katrina, to talk about when did you know that Vincente was on the autism spectrum?
I had a feeling when he was like 1 or 2. I don't know if your audience would know this, but Sally Jesse Raphael at the time and Oprah when she first came out and Donahue, they were talking a lot about autism, and there were some things that my son wasn't doing that so-called normal children were supposed to be doing. So officially I found out at the age of 3.
Okay.
And I took him to a doctor and she looked over him. The doctor he was going to sent him through all kinds of hearing tests and was saying that it was his hearing, and I knew it wasn't. There was something going on.
And so remarkable that you were able to get a diagnosis at 3, because, you know, even now there are people who aren't getting diagnosed until later. So that's remarkable that you were able to get that, Katrina. Did it make it possible for you to do some early interventions? What do you think you've done that has led to him? He's a college student.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what?
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I want to know, you know, we all want to learn from you, because clearly you did some things, a whole bunch of things right. What do you think you did right?
Well, first thing is catching it early on. He's my first child, my firstborn. I have a daughter that's 2 years younger than him. But he wasn't talking. He started off saying, like, hi, and then he just stopped. And then as he got older, it took him a little longer to walk than so-called normal children. I hate saying that, but so-called children.
Yeah.
And then it was just a lot of things that I was noticing. He was always by himself. He would entertain himself for hours with little strings and video game. He started playing. I used to have a video game called Sega, and he would play. Actually, at the age of 3, sit there and play the Sega game.
Wow.
And get through different levels. So that was kind of odd to me, because most 3-year-olds I knew were out running around playing and getting dirty and all of that, and he was more interested in video games and electronics. Once he was diagnosed, we were able to get into a program at Judavine School of Autism in St. Louis, Missouri, where we're originally from. And we went through a 3-week program with them where it was a one-on-one with him and I, and they would do a evaluation. We'll be behind a glass, and I would feed for lunch and breakfast. I would feed them, and they would teach us how to interact with our child, because, you know, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do. So, because he wasn't talking for one, and I didn't know sign language, so they taught us sign language, and that was a way to incorporate sign language in a fun way to get him to understand. Well, what I found out when he was older, when I tried to put him in school, they wanted him to go to special school, and I had to fight against that because I didn't want him to pick up. He was mimicking anyway, and I didn't want him to pick up other disabilities and have to deal with that as well on top of what I was dealing with him. So I worked for a young lady that was, she owned a special need daycare. And when I was in my teens, and so happened she was his summer school teacher in the district I was in St. Louis. And she, when I went to do a parent-teacher eval with her, she was like, well, Vincente, did you tell your mom what you said today? And I'm looking at her. I was like, he doesn't talk. What do you mean? Like, oh, Vincente, you didn't tell your mom. And he shook his head no. So she went and got a book, and he said, I'm angry today. And I love that because he's telling us his feelings. And I'm looking at him like, you talk? Really? We're doing sign language and you can talk? And so it was like a list of sentences. It wasn't just words, it was sentences. So after then, I was like, you know what? No more. No more sign language. You're going to talk. If you want something, you have to tell us what you want. No more pointing and signing to go get you anything. You have to do it. You have to tell us, or you're not going to get it.
I just want to say, I think that you guys are remarkable. You're the kind of people I'd love to spend hours with, because I love the sense of joy that you guys have. It's so clear how much you care about this young man, and for really good reasons. And Vincente, you're going to college. What are you studying?
Well, just game mod, but I kind of.
He was studying gaming.
And
but I had to take him out because of he wasn't passing like the core classes. He was getting A's and B's in animation and history of gaming and everything dealing with that. But like he was having a problem with the English part of it, and this particular school didn't want an inclusion person to be with him, like when testing or to help get him to understand, and I couldn't do it. As a matter of fact, that's why I went back to school, was to keep an eye on him. I went into photography. That way I could be close to him and check on his grades, because once you get over a certain age and in college, they really don't want the parents to interact with their children. And I recall we had a discussion with the dean, because the dean was trying to tell us that he wasn't, to make it short, good enough for the gaming program. It was a little advanced for him. And I had to reiterate. I made him pull out his grades, and I made him look at his grades. And I said, now, what part isn't he good at? Explain this to me.
Yeah.
And he went over and he was like, oh, well, he's only low scoring on like the math and the English. Exactly. So what part of gaming won't he be able to do?
Right. So what is the plan now? What that's all sounds fairly recent, but what are we going to do now?
He's going to continue to work on his parkour for next year, American Ninja Idol.
No,
I just put it on.
American Ninja Warrior.
I'm putting him on American Idol too.
There you go. I'm telling you, put him on America's Got Talent too.
I know you really don't want to hear me sing. No. I mean, even my mom said that I sing her, but if I take a shower,
We'll put you on top model. You're a good-looking guy. I'm sure you could model.
Well, I'm just not as skinny as those guys.
Oh, the guys don't have to be skinny.
I know, right?
But I really want to like get into fitness modeling or be a bodybuilder.
Well,
he's going to go back to school. Eventually, he's going to go back to school for gaming once I can find some type of loophole to kind of get him trained for it. He does writing. He writes gaming things. Tell him what to do.
Well, I mean, I just don't know about school. I mean, like some schools are not actually fair, but I really want to like look for a job, you know, as a video game writer, producer.
Well, listen,
because writer and producer, because I came with this one video game idea that I hope I can get out there.
Well, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of schools, too. In particular, there's something here in Los Angeles called Exceptional Minds. And it is a 3-year program, and they help to get you ready for gaming, creating games, and also if you're interested in working in the film industry.
Oh, wow.
So we'll talk a little bit more off camera. And there are a couple of other programs that maybe we can let you guys know about that might be ideal. But I love the fact that you've got a game out there, Vincente, that's in your head, and maybe there's a game developer out there who'd like to have a meeting with you.
Really?
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's put it out there into the universe. Can't hurt, right?
I mean, like I said, hey, if school ain't gonna help me, like, you know, become a game, I just get a job, you know, like work for a game company anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it don't seem like a rule. I mean.
Oh, you seem very likable, honey.
I mean, not all people don't have to get a degree in video gaming just to work for a gaming company.
Yes,
I mean, like,
that's true.
For me, I just prefer like giving out my ideas, you know, by producing, and also like when I went to the institute, like some of the experience from the institute, like helped me understand about like digital art and stuff. So I'm pretty much spend time like practicing on my drawing, like had to like figure out how to like draw different body types. Like either I want him fat or skinny or muscular or more athletic. I mean, I will tell you what my game is.
Well, I don't want you to tell it here on the air because I don't want somebody to steal it. I don't want somebody to steal it.
I mean, before you say anything, like I would like give my ideas out for, you know, what my video game is, but I mean, like I'm just a little bit paranoid about people stealing my ideas.
Yeah, I don't want you to say it here.
Copywritten.
Yes, I want you to wait until you're in a meeting and can get paid for it. I don't want you to give the idea away. But I think you're remarkable, Vincente, and I always think that education is a good thing, but you're right. You don't always have to have a degree to be able to do creative arts. I'm an ex-teacher, so I always think you know, the more education you have, nobody can take that away from you, but you don't always have to have a degree to get a job. But I'm sure Mom would like it if you got some more education too. Yes, Mom? Yes, she's nodding her head, yes. Okay, so we're out of time, but I adore you guys. I want to thank you so much for our entire community, for all the work that you've done and the way you shed such a wonderful light on our community and made autism look like something really remarkable and something very powerful. And Vincente, it is. But enough people don't see that, so I love that you put it out there. And Vincente, I know you said in the thing that, you know, you in the piece, in the package, that you have sometimes had difficulty with friends. I hope that this opens up doors for you. I hope it's going to give you a bunch of new friends, for people who see you exactly as you are and appreciate you exactly as you are.
Like, it, you know, it doesn't matter because, you know, like, I'm good. I mean, I'm like, I'm like more comfortable, you know, just being alone because because like there's the philosophy of things that you can't trust some people.
Yes.
I mean, like,
it's true.
I mean, like, that will, like, look, I mean, like, we may be autistic, but we are normal people.
That's right.
What's your son's name?
My son's name is Jem. So he will look forward to.
Hey, Jem.
He'll look forward to seeing this because he just thought you were remarkable, and I want to thank you as a mom for really being a role model and showing all of our kids what's possible. And I hope that gets some more of them in the gym and feeling like they're capable. I think you guys are incredible. And Katrina, I just think you're an awesome mom. And
Thank you.
So glad to belong to a community that includes you. I think you guys are great.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you're doing this too. Because I just moved to Georgia, so. And I really don't know a lot of the network programs and what have you, except the real huge ones. And I just want people to know more about autism, learn about autism. You'll never know if you don't learn.
That's right.
If you don't investigate. And a lot of people, it doesn't hit them unless there's somebody in their home or somebody they know that has it. Well, just because there's no one in your home or you don't know anybody that has autism, who's to say you won't run across somebody that might actually have it, and you won't know how to act around that person or treat that person or what have you, even though I hope you would treat them like anybody else.
That's right.
Be cordial, but it's certain things that you need to know that may help you understand what they're going through. Just live their life one day.
Yeah.
Try to live their life one day.
Well, I got to tell you, I said this to my husband right after it aired on the show. I said, there are advocates who have tried to get a message out to the rest of the world about what autism is and what it isn't. And I think you moved that dial more in 5 minutes on American Ninja Warrior than a lot of people who've been trying for 10 years. So I applaud you. I thought it was great. I loved what you said. I was cheering. I just thought it was remarkable. Again, we want to urge people to go to American Ninja Warrior, check out the whole thing, what happened with Vincente, worth watching, and we can't wait to see you on the show again. I love that you're training to continue. Thank you guys so much for
being. One more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
It was all him. I did not have anything I didn't even know he was going on American Ninja Idol until he asked me to help him with application of American Ninja Warrior. I don't know why I can't get that out. American Ninja Warrior until he just came to me to help him with the application. But not only that, when I read over the application, when I looked over the application, that's when I realized he wanted to bring awareness to autism. So that was him right here. I was just in for the ride.
Well, together you guys did a beautiful thing. So it's good teamwork. We appreciate you. We applaud you. And I think what he did was incredible, but having a cheerleader on the side sometimes is what makes all the difference, Mom. So you did a good job too. We're out of time, but I thank you guys so much, and we look forward to hearing more things from you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And incredible family, incredible, both of them incredible individuals. We're gonna take a break now. We'll be right back with more from Autism Live.
To other people who don't really get it, it's like it's not a big deal. But it's like, yeah, we've been working on this for like 5 months, and he finally did on his own, and I think that's the most exciting thing. Look, star. Look. Can you see star?
Mouse.
Huh?
Dog. Pivot.
Jack Riley.
Talk Riley.
Come here.
Baba, talk Riley.
Yay! Hi. Good boy. Can you sit down? Thanks. All right.
Baba, like.
What do you want to play when we're done? Do you want the tractor or you want a puzzle?
Puzzle.
You want the puzzle? Okay. Okay, ready? What is it? Say needs knees. Good boy. What is it? It's knees. Good job. Transitioning, he always has to say bye-bye, and it just makes him so sad. But I know they use it as a transition word for him, but I kind of want to vary it so that it's not bye-bye every time, like it's all done, or we'll play with it later, or something like that. And just kind of guiding him to whatever it is that we're doing. Or giving him words like, kind of have like 1 more minute playing with the blocks or playing with the tractor. Just so he knows that he can ask for more time if he wants to. I just kind of want to nip it in the bud if I can. Okay, Jack, 1 more minute. Say okay. Okay.
It just seems like there's a lot of emotional involvement, and it's kind of hard not to
It
be
is.
involved because
It
you know
is.
you're affecting
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah, every day. Yeah, it is. It is hard, but it's also like rewarding too. Come here.
Where will this?
No, come here.
Papa, look at this.
Yay! Hi, mister. Hi, mister. Give me jumping. Good job. What is it?
Toby.
Jumping. You're so smart. Give me jumping. Nice job. What is it?
Toby.
Jumping. 1 more sticker. Are you ready?
So when you're teaching a new label, you start off with just
The field of 1, so that it's isolated and he knows that, this is the only thing that we're looking for, so that when we throw them into the ones that he already knows, or even with ones that he doesn't know, we can be able to see if he can discriminate that these pictures are jumping versus the other one. So that's when the true test is, does he know what the picture of jumping looks like. So then after this, I'm going to throw it in the field of unknown pictures to see if he can even discriminate. And after he knows that, then I'll throw it in with the actions that he's already mastered. Give me sleeping. Rock on, good job. What is it?
Sweepy.
Sweet, nice. All right, Jack, let's go outside, okay?
Outside.
All right,
Let's go.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, you are just always so cute.
In part 21, we learned that Jack Riley requests regularly now. Because of this, they are now introducing a new skill that will build from what he has already learned, waiting. First, it will only be for 2 seconds, and once he gets the idea, they will increase the time slowly.
You want an E or a Y?
Wait.
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 No. Wait.
Wait.
No. Wait.
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 Pistol.
There you go.
Good boy. There's your Y.
Yay, there you go, buddy.
Wait.
E.
Wait.
E.
No. Wait. Hands down.
E.
You did it. Wait. Good waiting. Good eye contact too, Lovey.
That's really good, Cheryl. This one's so good at that.
Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm so excited because we're sitting here with Matt Asner, who is the Executive Director of Autism Speaks Southern California. In just a few minutes, we are going to be joined by Matt's dad, Ed Asner, the amazing actor. I'm so excited that he's going to be here with us. But so it's always thrilling to have you, and you've been a semi-regular here on the show. You're an amazing dad, and you are an amazing advocate for our... You're a dadvocate.
Yes.
Is there a T-shirt? There needs to be a T-shirt. And we always like to check in with you have the Autism Brady Bunch, your family.
Yes, I certainly do.
Amazing, amazing family, and we wish you guys nothing but the best. We saw you guys recently at the Dodger Autism Awareness Night, and you had much family there, and you were telling me a story at Stephanie's Day the other day about something that happened at the Dodger game. I want you to share it with everybody.
You have to remind me which story that was.
About the fact that your son was having a little bit of a tough time.
Oh, this is great, actually. Yeah, we were sitting up. We sat up in the like at the very back of the first section. And my dad, doesn't do well with stairs, and so we sat right at the very top. And it reverberates heavily in there.
Yeah.
So he was having a rough time. Will was having a rough time there. And so I got up with him. We were walking to the bathroom, and he was having a little bit of a meltdown. And an usher came up to me and said, "Oh, I can see that your son is having a rough time, and I thought maybe you'd like these earplugs." And I thought, that's amazing. I mean, to me, that's a huge step forward.
Amazing step forward.
Because you've got people who are, completely aware of what's going on. It's Autism Awareness Night. They know that that's going on there. And you have them. So whoever trained them, whoever said to them, be on the lookout for that, I give kudos to.
Yeah.
Because that's incredible.
Well, how many times have we all been to an autism event where you'd think that people would get it, but you're at a venue that isn't necessarily all the time autism aware, and maybe 5 years ago what you would have gotten were a bunch of looks like, "Why can't you control your child?"
Well, you still get that,
right? But here was one person, and it starts that way.
And he was an usher. He was one of these guys that that checks people's tickets and makes sure they're sitting in the right seat. And I think I was amazed. I was amazed at him being so in touch with with the people in the stadium.
Yeah,
I love that.
So I have to ask you: did you try the earplugs? Did it?
We put the earplugs in, and he still had a rough time, but
because that's a whole other sensory issue when you got things in your ears.
So every time the Dodgers scored that night, he would yell out "boo," So it was.
And people got over it.
People got over it.
Yeah. Because that's what you need to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was a wonderful event.
It was a great event.
I have to tell you.
It was a great event. My favorite so far. And I got to tell you, though, I got a call early in the day before, on Monday, and they told me, "Well, we're not going to have you and your dad say it's time for Dodger baseball. We were going to do that." And I said, "Oh, why? Why are we not doing that?" Well, and they said, "Well, we got a replacement, but don't worry, it's really good." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And they go, "It's the Los Angeles Kings."
Right.
And I was, okay, fine.
And this was days after.
If you want to bump me for the Los Angeles Kings, you can bump me for the Los Angeles Kings.
Well, that's very nice of you to allow. That was pretty impressive that the Kings were there the same night. It made it a really special evening.
It was incredible. Really amazing, and it added electricity to the evening.
Yes.
And they were there. We had I think half the team was there.
Yeah.
On the field
with the whole Stanley Cup. Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was
a beautiful night.
It was amazing.
And there was a lot of goodwill there that night. I was there with my husband and my son, and we had a really good time. So thank you.
And your son was on the field.
He came down onto the field for a couple of minutes and was there, and that was a big deal to him and his uncle.
Yeah.
And that's currency.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a very big deal to include family, that my brother-in-law could connect with my son about that will stay with them for the next 30 years.
Oh, well, yeah. And there was something else that was very special about that night for me. I haven't been to a Dodger game with my father for probably, I thought it was 40 years, but I think it's probably closer to 35 years.
Wow.
35 years. And ironically, we were on the field together because it was a Hollywood Stars night.
Yes.
And we were probably standing in the same place we were on that night. Wow. So it was pretty incredible to me that that we could have that experience together again.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot to me. It was very special.
You're going to make me weep. I think that's lovely. Those moments are so important, and those are the moments that kids remember, whether they're on the spectrum or otherwise.
Absolutely.
My son will remember that night the rest of his life. So thank you for giving him that memory and giving him that connection with his uncle, because you can't buy that, as I said.
Yeah, and we had I think 6 kids take the field. I think maybe even more. And they each, one parent went with them, and it was a very special evening for them.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't think they're going to forget that anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. And for those of us standing up in the stands, it was really remarkable as well.
And what a full crowd for that. early, part of the game.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people in the stands.
Yes.
And I was very impressed.
And a lot of people wearing their team T-shirts, that they wear at the walk, the wonderful walk that you do. I thought that was really fun too.
I thought it was great.
Huge families, really remarkable. But you do good work. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And you've got some more things that are coming up. And we have your dad. He's here. And so
he is here?
He is here.
He's in the building?
He's in the building. And we're very excited. We're all at Twitter to have him here with us live on the show for the first time. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we are going to have the amazing 7-time Emmy-winning actor Ed Asner with us. Stick with us.
When you find out you're having a boy, you always think like, oh, he's going to play football, he's going to do this and that. And then when he's diagnosed, all those things get washed away.
It's like that piece that's always in the back of your mind, where is he, what is he doing, is he safe?
We really didn't know what we were dealing with. I wish that they could have directed me a little bit more and provided me some information.
I was a young mom. I didn't know what it was like to raise a boy, despite a boy with autism.
Hundreds of thousands of families are not getting the help they need for their children with autism all around the country. ACT Today is determined to bridge the gap. These families really have to go through a lot to get a grant. The application process isn't easy. The records, the diagnosis proof, they're really battling for their kids. So when we can give them a grant, it is so wonderful to see that they succeed in getting that help for their children. Our founder, Dr. Doreen Graham-Pichet, is an amazing woman, and she is one of the world's foremost authority on behavior of children with autism. She's extremely knowledgeable, and she oversees every single grant we give. She is part of that process. People may think of autism care and treatment as simply schooling or therapy, but we provide important safety supports, things like fencing, for example. The whole family's living in fear of that child running out into traffic. I recently delivered an iPad to a little boy with some of the apps that are out there for children with autism. Miracles happen.
I got the iPad from ACT.
From ACT,
What did it say? Can you repeat that, Dustin?
I got the iPad from ACT.
We have helped so many military families, and when I think of these brave families that are fighting two battles, one to protect our country and one for the right treatment and care for their children, it breaks my heart, and I think we have to do more as a nation to help them.
There's not a day that doesn't go by that we don't think about it. Some people say, oh, he's normal. You don't see the battles that I see every single day. My husband does have to deploy, and when they get on that bus, that might be the last time that my kids ever see them.
So I called, and they informed me that he had received the grant, which was like a blessing from above. I was just like speechless. I just started to cry because, without it, we would have been lost.
The ACT grant was a total miracle. Without that, we wouldn't be able to receive the service dog. So we're so appreciative what they've done for us as a family.
Recently, ACT Today funded a program for military children with autism in San Diego, the Inclusion Films program, which is run by Joey Travolta, and teaches kids on the autism spectrum literal filmmaking skills. They learn how to make a movie.
Are we ready? There you go, got it. Mark it. Okay. Everything that goes into the process of making a film goes into everyday life. So they're learning life skills, they're learning to collaborate.
It was really nice to know how much they were enjoying this camp, and they're with people who are supporting them and are making them feel great about themselves and their differences and their similarities. And I get two kids that are working together and apart and together and apart, so it's an interrelationship as well as a camp and a learning experience.
It's so fulfilling when I get letters. One stands out for me, a boy who was 14 with Asperger's, and we gave him a grant to go to a drama camp. He wrote to us and said, "Dear ACT Today, thank you for letting me belong for the first time in my life." These kids are remarkable. We underestimate them. They're so knowledgeable, they're so capable, and we can change the life of a family, which means changing the life of a community.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We are so excited because here in the
My
studio
wallet.
with us, did somebody
took my wallet.
frisk you? We have the massively appreciated and awarded actor, Ed Asner. He is a 7-time Emmy winner, a 5-time Golden Globe winner.
How about that?
Oh, my
It's
God.
been over a decade since SAG gave you the Lifetime Achievement Award, and you continue to work.
Yeah.
And there are many among us who feel that if there were a category for Best Voice Actor in a film, you would also be an Academy Award-winning actor. So we adore you and everything that you do. All of these amazing roles that you have played in your life, but we have you here today because of one of the greatest roles you've played, that of a dad and a grandpa.
Yeah,
He had to work very hard at that role. That was very
As
foreign
does
to him.
everyone.
Very foreign to him.
I didn't do a very good job.
I think you did a remarkable job, as witnessed by our other guest, Matt Asner, who's the executive director of Autism Speak Southern
Oh,
California.
your name's Asner.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Hi,
Nice to
how
meet you.
are you?
We've never met before.
It's
It's an
good to
honor.
see you. Well, what Mishpacha, where's your family from?
Lithuania.
Lithuania, huh? Oh. Wow.
How about you? Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
It's amazing that there's no relation.
God forbid.
I want to know what it's like having a dad who is so famous for many things, not the least of which is playing Santa Claus. What's it like growing up with the pressure of this amazing personality?
It was like having Santa Claus in your home all the time.
You liar.
No, it was.
You lie to the people like that?
No, it was. Look, I'm who I am today because of him.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
And my mom.
And his mom.
Yeah, and but he's given me a lot of the tools that I use every day, and I owe him a lot.
He's got a better voice than I do.
Well, I would say you both have different kinds of voices. Let's be political about this. So our viewers want to know, in terms of being an autism dad and an autism grandpa, I can't imagine how different it is now than when your son was first diagnosed. And of course, we're talking about your half-brother, Matt.
Yeah. Charlie.
Charlie. And how old is Charlie now?
26.
26.
I have be 27 in a month.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So when did you first know that something was different about Charlie?
Oh, from birth, but I thought it was wonderful.
So you appreciated those differences.
He had the autism qualities that I admire. Whereas, every nursery school he'd go to, he'd climb every tree and he'd jump across this or that. He was always driving them nuts because he was running and jumping and flying through the air. And,
the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, he was.
We call that busy pants in my house. Busy pants. Yeah. So he had a lot to do.
And I really took me years to become convinced that he was autistic. I just thought he was special.
Yeah, well, he is
and he's
special.
Still special.
Yeah. And so what year was it when you really understood that he was on the spectrum? Can you remember? Was it the 80s, 90s?
There was no definitive.
Okay.
I got custody of him with my mate at the time, who I later married, and she did a great job in raising him, in bearing down. And even when we had joint visitation, when he'd come to me, I'd work on him on reading, and she would work with him on, I taught him phonics, and she would work with him on math, working with his exercises in the car. And it's why he kept alive and had a brain pool to finally go into school regularly and compete with his peers. He's just special.
Yeah.
And he went to California Poly and did a very nice job there, got a wonderful education there. I would have gone to California Poly High, except they thought it would overtax him too much. So we sent him to another school, which we didn't like. And finally, we sent him off to Chicago, I guess. Yeah. and he did okay there. It used to be the one who created the term refrigerator mothers.
Right.
What the hell was his name?
And of course, I can't think of the name either.
Yeah.
Matt, help us. You know who we're talking about?
I can't remember the name.
But
I'll come up with it in a minute.
But
I know who you're talking
it was
about.
adjacent to the University of Chicago, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was affiliated.
Yeah.
And he did okay there, and then after several years there, he went as far as he could. And then we brought him home, and
Canner.
by that time,
Leo Canner.
Leo Canner, that's right.
No, that's the one who created or delineated autism, Asperger's.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We were talking about he went to Chicago and he did okay for a while. I'll come up with a name for the guy who came up with refrigerator mom. At
maybe you'll understand it better if I may quote my spouse at the time,
yes.
Cindy, who said he doesn't suffer from autism, he suffers from Asnerism.
Ah.
How true is that? How true is that?
There is an element of me in that, I guess.
Well, I think we can all relate to something about being on the spectrum, right? I notice the things that I am, and I wonder, is my child have those things, or is that autism spectrum? Don't you?
Oh, I look back all the time, and I think about that, and certainly there's aspects of my personality right now that I think are somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think we're all a little on the spectrum. So let's move forward in time. Then you have grandchildren, multiple grandchildren, and the moment comes when you watch your son going through this with a child who gets diagnosed. How did you feel about that?
Well, I then began to wonder, it must be Asnerism. My son was less lucky in a way than I, because his son was not as high on the spectrum as my son was, and I realized he'd have a much harder job, and he would. But I saw him so filled with love and caring and tenderness, far more than I could have mustered, that I was reassured that the kid was certainly going to make it.
Yeah.
And he has.
Yeah.
He's come along beautifully. Yeah. I heard him talking about how he had a meltdown at the game. I didn't see that. I didn't even hear him holler boo at the Dodgers. But,
you were into your popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Grandpa excuses some things.
I think so.
And as all grandpas should.
Or shrug off.
Yeah, it's all part of being a kid.
They have a wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
They really do. They have a wonderful relationship, you and Will.
He kind of gives me that look all right.
Well, what's interesting is, he's a very loud person and grumpy most of the time.
Are we talking about Will or your dad?
No. Well, actually, you could say the same thing about both of them. But no, and I think Will looks at him as this vibrant personality that that is unlike anyone else.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think he really enjoys when he spars with him.
Yeah.
Because I call it sparring. You guys spar, and it's a wonderful kind of give and take. It's a nice thing.
To the extent that you feel sorry for his older boy, who doesn't have that speciality, and he trudges along with the usual afflictions of the youth, of trying to be somebody, trying to be special, and not having that wonderful mark of autism that his younger brother has, that he has to constantly make allowances for, and give, and not tease, to over tease, and always be on his toes, so that he becomes a rascal in other respects, which is not appreciated.
Yeah.
So you want to club him.
But how wonderful that you appreciate them both for exactly who they are and appreciate the things that they're going through.
They're good boys.
That's
really
great.
good boys.
Really remarkable.
And neither one is fat.
And this is important.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, right.
So they denied my inheritance.
Hey, you know, I was looking for a picture of you online the other day, and there was a very, I have to say, something I had never seen before, but just when I Googled you, there was a very flattering picture of you completely in the buff with your hand placed just so, and I was like, who knew that Mr. Asner had this going on?
My hand was placed. My hand was placed where?
Appropriately, so like a fig leaf. You were completely nude, sir. I will have to show it to you. It was pretty impressive.
I think it's a fake.
Do you think it's a fake?
I think it's a fake.
You've got to show it.
I'll show it to you because I was like, well,
Is it something you
hello,
can put up
Mr.
on the screen?
Asner. No, we can't. It's a family show. But speaking
Well,
of
families have nudity.
that's right. And your hand is appropriately placed, but I was like, wow, my eyebrows went up. It got a little bit warmer in the room.
I hope they digitized my hand.
Well, we'll take a look at it, and you'll have to tell me if it's a fake. But you've got a really important event that's coming up, and we're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to come back and talk about the event. And because the event involves playing poker, we have some cards and some chips. We thought maybe we'd play a little poker. Are you into it?
Yeah.
All right. Oh my goodness.
You dealing?
I don't know who's dealing. Are we letting
He's
him
the dealer.
deal?
He's the
Here,
dealer.
you get the dealer chip then. So for those of you watching at home, you're not going to want to miss this. We're going to play a little card. I think I'm going to lose something.
What are we gonna bet? Are we gonna bet money?
I don't know what we're going to do.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Your
You guys-
birthright would be a good idea.
You've got a silent auction attached to this event. Maybe we
Yes.
can come up with something we can donate for the silent
There we
auction.
go.
We'll pick our brains here. But in any case, he's shuffling the cards, so stay tuned. Watch this. I'm going to look for a picture. He's going to shuffle. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, welcome to Camp Discovery, a free-to-play suite of fun, interactive learning games for kids 2 and up, designed by experts in autism. Camp Discovery will open your early learner to a world of new skills, shapes, numbers, colors, locations, emotions, and more. Let's get started.
Please choose a level.
Objects. First, Camp Discovery's Intelligent Preference Assessment determines your child's preferred reward for choosing correctly. Okay, got it. Let's play. Camp Discovery creates a motivating learning environment for your child by minimizing incorrect responses and maximizing successful ones.
Find the shoes.
Respond correctly and your child is rewarded with their favorite animations.
You did it.
Respond incorrectly and our unique prompting system guides your child to the correct answer by making it the largest choice.
That's not it. Try again. Way to go.
Continue to answer correctly and the size gradually reduces until the child makes the correct choice independently.
You win.
Success! Rewards motivate learning. Complete a round and your child is rewarded with a fun mini-game. Track your child's progress with easy-to-read graphs. Multiple settings options allow you to customize Camp Discovery to your child's unique needs. All this in one single app, the Camp Discovery app, available for free on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon Store.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We're busy pouring through pictures of Ed Asner.
There it is. I see it.
Do you see
What?
that one?
Oh, for God's sake.
Whoa.
There it is. That's what I said. I said, whoa. You see the hand strategically
First of all, that ain't my body.
Well, anyway.
You got to get me an 8x10 of that.
We're all blushing,
I'll
and
send
it did
it out.
get warmer in the studio. Okay. Glad I could share that with you.
my God.
I can't believe you've never seen that before. Okay. Well, you've got a really important event that's coming up. So tell us, Ed, or tell us, Matt, a little bit. You are the dealer.
Getting ready.
Yes.
It's on July 26th.
Okay.
And it's at the Water Garden in Santa Monica. And it's the second annual Ed Asner and Friends Poker Tournament. Last year, it was a wonderful success. We had a lot of people there. Don Cheadle came and played.
Wonderful.
Who else was there?
Lovely guy.
Yes.
Cato Kalin was there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's funny.
I've seen
was
him
it
do
Jason
stand-up.
London?
He's funny.
Jason London?
Yeah.
Jason London was there. So we had a lot of, people come by. It was wonderful. Really wonderful experience.
Okay.
And
it's all raising money.
All raising money for Autism Speaks.
And raising money for Autism Speaks in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, Southern California.
Which is a really wonderful thing to raise money for.
Yeah.
I'm told that we have more people with diagnosed autism in Los Angeles than any other city. I don't know if that's true, but this is what I was recently told.
Because we have more adult awareness here.
Well, maybe that is the case. But there are many people in need. We've got a huge need. And we were at Stephanie's Day on Saturday. And I don't know what you walked away with, but I walked away with so much hope and an understanding of how much work is left to be done.
I think they do an incredible job.
Oh,
incredible job.
It was a lovely event.
Steve and Tony are really on top of it. And they've, in 3 years, have made something that I think is really great for the community.
It was really remarkable.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a little Texas Hold'em here because that's what you're doing at this wonderful event that...
I'm not dealing.
You're not going to deal?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, you're not dealing.
Yeah.
Not at the poker tournament.
No, not at the... But you're going to deal right now.
Yeah.
Actually, at the poker tournament, we have these lovely ladies called the dealer dolls. They're going to be dealing.
Totally
nude.
No.
This year they're not going to be.
This year they're not. No, that was
family show.
That was a mistake last year, so we're not going to do that again.
Okay, so and you have a silent auction as part of the event, but you're going to play some Texas Hold'em. So we thought it would be fun to play a little Texas Hold'em here on the show.
Have you ever played before?
I played a little bit, but I'm not good at the betting thing. Okay. So should we start with some chips?
Sure. What do we want to do here?
Well, I don't know. Just give me some chips.
Do we need chips?
Let's just
I'm not putting dollar bills down.
Right. So it should be something for everybody.
What should we call these?
I'm playing too.
$5, $10.
Okay. Why don't we call the white chips $5?
Okay.
That's enough.
We don't need any more chips.
Okay. So you said $5, and we're playing with funny money here.
No, I'm dealing you in.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But before we look at them, we have to do the blinds, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so you be the blind.
Okay, so, and I get to decide how much I put in?
No, you put in one chip.
Oh, I put in one chip, okay. And does that mean the
or you put in 2 chips, and I'll put in 1.
Okay.
And
you're the small blind, I'm the big blind.
Big and little blind.
There we go. All right.
I did a little reading about this, but, okay.
Okay, here we go. And that's yours.
All right.
Don't complain.
No. You gave me some good cards, right?
You ready?
Yeah.
Now, do I look at them first before you turn them over, the first 3?
I don't know.
I think we bet, don't we? I read the rules. I think we look and we bet before the turn.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Too bad this isn't baseball.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sure that means something that I should know. Okay, so do I bet first?
Yes.
But I have to match the blind?
No, I would bet first.
Okay.
You're the little blind.
Yeah.
I think you bet.
Right.
I don't know. I don't.
Somebody will know at the event. We're just having fun here.
I'm gonna come in.
I'll call.
And so I'm gonna call too. Okay.
No, you're just checking.
I don't have to.
No,
I'm checking them.
You were the big blind, so you
See,
stay
I knew
in.
somebody was going to help me with
You're
this.
checking.
Okay.
So now we do the flop.
Okay.
And we're going to put it right up here.
And we have a 9.
The audience at home can see. A 9 of diamonds.
And a 7 of diamonds.
Ooh.
Oh boy. There we
got
go.
2 diamonds here.
Ooh.
A
Okay.
7 of
we
clubs.
have 2 7s.
Okay,
Sick.
Now we bet again, right?
Sick.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's up to you?
It would be up to me. I'm in.
2, huh?
Yeah.
Make it 4.
Really? Oh boy.
Okay, now can I raise it again?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put my 4 in and I'm going to raise it 3.
3.
Jeez.
You're getting.
Shannon, for a beginner, Shannon's really getting
loose with
bold.
other people's money.
That's right.
Okay,
Especially since it's all fake money.
I'm going to fold.
Well, I certainly will call you, you hussy.
I'm so excited. All right. So now I have to put in more or I'm done?
Oh, I just
you
called.
Okay.
So
All right.
What do we have? Another flop. All right, there we go.
Ooh.
King.
Okay, king. So we bet again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do I have?
You're the raiser, so you bet.
Okay. Do I have to put in a certain amount, or I can put however much I want. I'm going to put in
Whatever you
2.
want. It's no limit.
I'm putting 2.
Okay.
Well, since I only got 3.
You want some more? Here, take some more.
Wait,
No,
there's so
I'll call you.
Okay.
I think we don't.
All right,
we
we get-
subjected them to enough tediousness, and I'll call.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. This is the last card.
This is the last
This is the last
card.
one. This is the big one.
We'll make it 3.
All right. You're all in.
I'm all in.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm all in too. Forget it.
Oh, wow.
I'm just all in.
What are you doing?
I'm all in. We're all in.
So
That's
you're
okay.
raising him.
No, just however many, I'm all in.
So wait, so he put in 1. So
I had more than him to start.
go.
Here,
Uh-oh,
give
we
him some of
lost a
mine
card.
because I had more than him to start with.
Okay.
All right. So consider me
So
all
we've got
in.
one more card here.
I'm all in. Do you want to be all in?
Oh, of course.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to wipe you out. Gonna clean it.
Okay, what's the
Okay.
card?
Clean it straight with
Let's
you.
see it. Oh my goodness.
A 6.
6. Okay.
Doesn't help anyone.
Doesn't do a goddamn thing.
Doesn't do anything.
God, it's a family show.
It's all right. You coughed over it. Okay. So now do we bet again, or we just turn over?
Now you're gonna flop now. Well, actually, you could, but you're all in. So
Yeah. Okay.
you're just
All right. So we're both all in. So it's time to turn over.
now you have to reveal the cards.
Okay. So I have a pair.
Shannon has a pair, 2 pair,
I did a lot of bluffing.
Yeah.
That's right. I have 2 pair, don't
Well,
I?
I got 2 pair.
and he's got a bigger pair.
Oh, and he's got a bigger pair. Did I actually win?
Slick.
Did I
What do
actually?
you mean,
No.
did you actually
No, no.
win?
What has he got?
I got a bigger pair.
Oh, you have a bigger pair.
Mine is
You have
bigger
2
than
pairs.
yours.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because there's 2 nines. He won.
I'm gonna give you
I was
these.
gonna.
Because
What did you have?
I just had an ace and a jack.
Oh, the hell of a cards to drop out on.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of figured someone had a pair. So
I was just bluffing.
Well done.
Well, you beat me.
And I'll learn more the night of the game so that I'll act like a professional.
Well, and the dealers are the ones that are helpful and tell you when
Yes.
you're playing. So let's talk a little bit about what happens at the game, because the grand prize is pretty amazing,
yeah,
right?
it's a night, or not a night, a weekend in the presidential suite at the Intercontinental Hotel in San Francisco. Airplane, everything's taken care of.
Amazing.
And I know the person who got the deal for us has stayed there, and it is an unbelievable experience.
Okay.
Wow.
And it comes with more things too. There's like a $250 gift certificate to
For a
Luce.
restaurant
To
there.
Luce, and so amazing. And then there are a whole bunch of silent auction items at
Yeah, we
the.
have Roland has donated a keytar for all of you 80s fans.
Wonderful.
You can be Devo if you want.
There you go.
And then we have Beats by Dre is giving us a package where
Ooh.
headphones and
Oh my
speaker,
gosh.
Bluetooth speaker. So there's a lot of fun stuff that you can bid on,
Okay.
and the raffle prizes and stuff like
And
that.
this is happening on July 26th, on Saturday, July 26th. But if you want to register to go to the event, you really have to RSVP by the 20th.
By the 20th.
Okay. And there is a Facebook page, the second annual Ed Asner
and
Poker and Friends. It's Ed Asner and Friends Poker. So I can't
I don't
imagine.
have many friends.
You have a lot of friends.
Especially after he plays poker with them.
Well, I can see why you're a shark.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage
Devastating.
people. And so and there are buy-ins that you can do. So there's a ticket if you want to play poker. There's a cost for that.
So if you want to play poker, it's $250 to get into the game, and then with unlimited buybacks. If you unfortunately get forced out, there's unlimited buybacks. So
and then so you can come back into the game.
Come back into the game. And also there's a waiting list so that if you're actually there and you want to play poker but it's sold out, you can actually sit in a seat that if someone leaves the game, you can sit in that seat.
Okay.
And also, if you just want to come and enjoy drinks and dinner, you can. It's $100, and you can come and have a good time, watch people play poker.
Rub
It's a lot of
elbows
fun.
with.
And now that I've shown you how bumbling I am,
You weren't bumbling.
I would think it would entice a lot of people to come there and clean the floor with me.
There you go.
Don't you think?
I wanted to play poker with you today. I'm sure that there are tons of people out there who want to play poker with you.
We played in a poker tournament once.
Really?
Yeah.
A real
Like a real one, yeah. Like in Commerce Casino.
And did they know who you guys were? Did you go incognito?
No,
you
we weren't.
outlasted me, didn't you?
I did outlast you, yes. I outlasted you in last year's poker tournament.
You did?
I did.
I don't want you to play anymore.
Spoken like a true dad.
But he got very mad at me when we were in the tournament together.
Uh-oh, why?
Because I did something that he took offense to. I think
What?
I think I forced you out of the game.
Your own dad?
Yeah, well, you know,
You got to do what you
poker
got
is
to do.
poker.
That's right.
You know?
It's all
He
business.
betrayed me.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure that there are a lot of kids who are out there who are watching this that they think of you with so much love from Up. A whole new generation of kids, but you do other voiceover things as well. You were a very celebrated 3-time nominee for Daytime Emmy for doing voiceover things. What has been your favorite role that you've played in all this time?
Well, I can't ignore the 12 years I did Lou Grant.
Yeah.
He's a cutie.
He sure was.
But I love doing Freakazoid, Cosgrove.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I haven't been called back to do my character on Boondocks, but I've had a lot of fun playing Ed Wuncler on that.
Wonderful.
And of course, Rich Man, Poor Man.
Yeah.
And
how about Granny Goodness?
Yes. That's a lot of fun.
All good stuff. I didn't realize until last night that you hold more Emmys than any other actor, and that you're the only actor. That's what I read online, and you're the only actor who has ever gotten an Emmy for playing the same role in a comedy and in a drama for Lou Grant. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And when I was thinking about it and seeing how many awards you've won, but how many times you've been nominated, is it old hat to you now when you dress up to go to these things when you're nominated? I mean, you're pretty good odds.
I don't get nominated that much.
Are you kidding me? You have over like 24 nominations altogether.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a lot of times to put on a tux and go and know that your name is going to get called.
Now I know why you're so bitter.
Yeah, nominated a lot of times, only won 7.
But no, because you've won 5 Golden Globes. I mean, I think your average is you're batting like 50%, which is amazing in the industry.
It's pretty good. It's true.
It's pretty amazing.
40%.
I mean,
about 40%, 35%.
I have to add it all up, but
yeah, but you take a broad like Betty White. I mean, she can fall off a log and win an Emmy.
When I was looking up pictures of you and I saw the one of you in the buff that's not really you, there were also a lot of pictures of you and Betty White kissing in different decades.
Yeah.
So you guys have been friends for a long time.
Her lips got fuller and fuller.
I'm sure she appreciates hearing that. You must have a lot of friends in the industry that you've known for a long, long time.
Well, we have to compare notes.
Yes. Are you still in contact with some of the other people from the Mary Tyler Moore Show?
I'm in touch with Betty. I'm in touch with Valerie, and watched with amazement at her recovery from that dread creature, the Big C.
Yes.
And occasionally I see Gavin. Occasionally I see Ted's wife.
Yes.
Georgette.
Georgette. Yes.
Georgia. And I see Alan Burns once in a while. It was a beautiful period of my life.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Pretty amazing.
It was a great period of my life, too.
Well, you had to have been very young.
I was very young, but I grew up on that set. I mean, I
can't even imagine.
I would probably go there at least once a week.
He was at a good age to begin to enjoy it. I mean, we hit the road around when he was about 7, I guess. Yeah. So he began to experience all that hullabaloo.
Well,
and it really was a family.
Yeah.
That set was a family.
Well, and you know that's so iconic to so many of us, especially young women. We all watched that show, and it broadened what our dreams were for our lives. I mean, Oprah has said that she watched, and that was everything to her.
Did
she
you
gave
see
her
the
courage.
reunion she created for us?
Yes, absolutely amazing.
Well, you know, as a man, I kept looking at all this breaking ground for the maritime order, this and that. So what the hell are they talking about? For instance, it is fact that they originally wrote the script with her being divorced, and the network said, no way, no way. She just broke off her engagement or whatever, or he broke it off. So, I, as a male pig, never understood the case for women that they were. I mean, they still fight the glass ceiling, and they. I kept looking at it. What? Not enough? Not enough? You still want more? You still want more? And to realize that they are an underprivileged class.
Well, I have to tell you that, you know, as much as I was watching Mary on that show to see who I wanted to be when I grew up, I was watching Lou to see all of the men that I would meet in my life who didn't believe that I could do what I could do, how she dealt with him and how he dealt with her. And we all hung on the fact that there was so much respect both ways. And every time Lou showed that he respected her, that gave us all the courage to go up against the strong male figures that we respected. I mean, it really shaped who we all became, which is quite a legacy just on its own, but you've done so many other things as well.
Yeah, but you never realized at the time we were doing it.
Really?
Of this enormous majority who were under a yoke. And it constantly gets proven and shown and demonstrated. I mean, look what happens in Asia, for God's sake.
Yeah.
In certain Muslim countries. There's so much work left to do.
There is, on so many different fronts, but you have had such a big voice and such a positive voice in so many fronts. I mean, for women in that way, and then in so many other ways. And you were very outspoken politically, and sometimes to your detriment in your career. But we all appreciated that. Very outspoken as a SAG president.
Some did, some didn't.
Well, most of us appreciated. The few that didn't appreciate it loudly, but we all still appreciated that. And now the things that you do for the autism community are of such value, and we all appreciate you. I know that you've got so many other things that you do and that you have left to do, and the fact that you give the time to the community, it means so much to all of us.
How old's your son?
He is 11. I had to think about it for a second because he just turned 11 the other day. So, but he got to meet you at a walk, and he was so elated because he met the guy from Up. And he thinks of that as being you, even though it's animated.
Yeah.
You know, you have a certain resemblance.
Well, actually, I think as we go through the years now after Up, I think he gets closer and closer to Carl Friedrichsen. I think he actually is starting to become him. There's a picture. There's a picture of him at the Dodger game next to a little boy, you know, who was with us, and the little boy is looking at his cane, taking his cane, and I thought, oh my God, that's Up. That's totally Up.
And what a wonderful, rich character that is, and how well, I do think if there were an award, and they should make an award for voice acting, I think we're all in agreement you would have had an Oscar.
Well, thank you. The greatness is in Pete Docter and Bob Peterson in creating this phenomenal story, none of which I knew when I went in to do it. I just would do it segment by segment by segment. And they wove this magic, and they really should be ensconced on the high thrones for their great artistic merciful work.
Well, you brought it home. Let's say that. They gave you some powerful storylines and some powerful words, but you brought it home. It's really an amazing tour de force. And you have continued to do some stage work. I have not gotten to see you do FDR.
Laguna. In November.
Okay, I will be there because I want to see this. Now, what made you choose FDR to base a show around?
I adored him. I mean, that goes without saying. But I was doing the theater at sea cruises, and I didn't have anything prepared, so they had this play that Doris Sherry wrote after Sunrise at Campobello. And they said, "You want to do that reading?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." So I did it, and Phil Langner, the producer, said, what do you think about our taking it out as a one-man show? I said, "Oh, fine." So we've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay. Well, I want to see. I'm a huge FDR fan, so I definitely want. So in November at Laguna Playhouse.
Is it Laguna Playhouse?
I don't know. I don't know Laguna.
Okay.
So what's down there?
Laguna Playhouse.
Laguna Playhouse.
Well,
we'll get more information, and I'd like to come and see that.
All right.
I was saying to you that
let him know.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I'll make sure. I got to see you 20 years ago. It's probably more than 20 years ago, doing Born Yesterday with Madeline Kahn, and that was the first time that I got to meet you, and you were amazing in that. Absolutely amazing in that. It was really incredible. And one of the things that was, I'm a huge Garson Kanin fan, first of all, who wrote the play. And I thought, and I've seen many productions of Born Yesterday, but what you brought to that role, for people who don't know, it's a young woman who is with a guy who's very powerful, but not necessarily very nice. And she's not very smart. And another guy comes into the picture who helps to educate her, and eventually she leaves the character that you played, which is the very powerful but not so nice guy. But one of the things that I always had a problem with was when people would do the play, you wouldn't see what made her stay with the guy for so long. And you and Madeline Kahn had chemistry. Oh man, was there all kinds of chemistry. It was really amazing to see that. I don't know if Garson Kanin got a chance to see it, but I'm sure if he did, he would have loved it.
He was around.
Oh my gosh, he had to have loved how you played that role. I think, and I've seen it many times. I think you're the only person who brought that out. That this, there was a reason why she was with him. You didn't play him as all one color. He was a very, depth-filled guy, which I appreciated so much. And I got to meet you then. I was a waitress in the coffee shop because I was going to the National Theater Conservatory across the street.
Oh yeah.
You came into the coffee shop, and I waited on you. And because of who I am, I said, "Hey, I'm studying at the National Theater Conservatory across the street. Will you come and speak to the school?" And you said, "Absolutely."
Really?
You did. And then you came and spoke. You scared me half to death. So when it was time to introduce you, and I didn't know I was responsible for introducing you, but the artistic director said, "Now you wait out in the hallway, meet him on the elevator, you introduce him." And I was a nervous wreck, and you were on the phone with somebody you weren't happy with. And so I led you.
Me.
Could have been. I led you into the room, and here's what I said. I said, and here's someone who needs no introduction, Ed Asner.
You rotten.
I did, and I got so much you-know-what over that. And I said, it's 20 years later, I finally got an opportunity to introduce you as you should have been introduced. So thank you for letting me take that full circle. Now I can sleep at night.
I'm glad we're old friends.
I'm glad we're old friends, too. And I thought it was really sweet of you. I was like in my late 20s. And accosted him in a coffee shop, and you said, "Absolutely, I would love to."
Was your coffee any good?
I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't.
It was good today, though.
But well, I didn't make that. That's why it was.
That's why it was so good.
If they put me in charge of the coffee, we'd all be dead now. But I just want you to know, I've been a fan my whole life, and now as an autism mom, I'm just that much more of a fan.
Oh, that's
I think that you're remarkable, and now that I've gotten to know your son and see the man that he is.
You see what a burden he's been.
Yes, I do. I see this lovely man who's a great dad who inspires us all on a regular basis. You've done good work all the way around.
Thank you.
Well, he's been an amazing partner for me.
Yeah.
In the autism world.
Well,
and
who better, right?
Yeah.
To be a grandpa and a dad.
Exactly.
And a legend.
Right.
It's pretty good business.
it's important.
It is important
that it be done by somebody.
Well, we appreciate that. We've got just a couple of minutes left here, and I'm gonna close the show with you guys if that's okay with you.
Oh boy, do I have to go to the John.
Oh really? Do you? Because I can take a break and it's 3 minutes. Can you give me 3 more?
Yeah.
She says 4 minutes.
I'll just sit here.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So if you have advice. You're going to make me cry. I'm laughing so hard. Okay, so any advice that you have for the dads and the grandpas out there about dealing with autism?
Well, I think it's what the dads of autistic kids get a chance to practice what they should be practicing even if the kids weren't autistic. It is like a jolting reminder of what they should be and what they should do. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And you do that with an autistic kid as best you can. And of course, it's what we should be doing with our normal kids. Yeah. And autism gives us the chance to prove that we're fathers.
That's remarkable.
I would say the same thing. I would say, be involved.
Absolutely.
Don't look elsewhere for the responsibility. Be involved. Be as involved as possible.
We were just talking about Stephanie's Day, and we had Steve Malden on the show last week, and I asked him the same question, and he said, stay close. Mm-hmm. Stay close, which is really the same thing. And I think, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of dads now, dads who stayed, dads who didn't stay. Mm-hmm. And this is a hard road.
It's a very hard road.
I don't think, any of us wants to paint it as anything other than that, but there are some fabulous moments on the hard road, and you miss them if you don't stay.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, there are days where you sit there and you go, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's the greatest thing I've ever done is be the father. Be a father to.
Yeah,
he's been great.
To be a father to my 2 sons, that's the greatest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. I think the worst thing is for me to realize all the time my shortness, my irrationality, my coming up short with not delivering, and it bugs me, and I don't change. It reminds me, and I try to be better the next time, but I keep making the same mistakes.
But you're there, and you bring who you are, and that's everything. That's everything for all of us.
Right now, we're trying to teach Charlie how to budget. That's impossible.
I'm going to have somebody we can help you with. Because sometimes that stuff has to come not from the parents, but from somebody else.
Well, maybe.
And so
he's had a lot of help from outside, too.
Okay.
But,
I mean, that's...
And then I look at what... there's the lead article in the New York Times about kids with college debts, and they're all living at home, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. I'm reading these so-called normal kids.
Exactly.
And he is no worse off than these guys.
Yeah, I think every 26-year-old is learning the budgeting. So I think you're in the normal territory there. Unfortunately, we're out of time because I could stay here forever. But we want to let you use the men's room. We're out of time, but I thank you so much for being here.
How much will it cost me? Here.
There we go.
You have a quarter, right?
You're still ahead. Thank you both so much for all the work that you're doing and for being here. We want to remind everybody, sign up for this wonderful event. We'll be back tomorrow with some amazing experts. Ask Dr. Doreen. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me. Bye-bye for now.
You're a wonderful host.
Thank you.